Hey, do you ever struggle with reflux, like acid reflux, that feeling of pain or burning coming up from your stomach into your chest? Or have you heard or experienced SIBO, which is a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth? Or do you have IBS or had symptoms of IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, so indigestion, bloating, constipation, diarrhea? All of these conditions can be helped by this one simple practice, which I'm going to show you today. And to demonstrate, I am going to take a bite of my delicious apple here. Chewing. If you haven't guessed it already, the answer is chewing. So this one practice of just chewing your food till it's liquid makes the biggest difference to all of these conditions. You can have significant improvement by just chewing 30 times per bite of food. Now, I know this can sound like a lot, especially if you're used to like 5 or 6 times before swallowing, which is what I was used to when I was in med school and running around all the time trying to get things done. It was like I was eating while standing or running and just chewed a few times before, throwing that food or chunk of food into my belly. The problem that happens with that is we only have teeth in our mouths. We do not have teeth in our GI tract. So when we have to chomp things up, it has to happen here first. So the goal of the teeth is to actually liquefy the food before it gets to the stomach. The stomach's job is to break that liquid down even further with hydrochloric acid. The challenge that comes up, and the reason a lot of people have reflux, is because some of those food things that you take in are actually too chunky for the stomach to start melting. So it has to slosh this little chunk of food around in the belly to try and liquefy it completely before it goes to the small intestine. When that acid is kind of tossing around, that sometimes can cause that reflux or that heartburn feeling that you get in your stomach and in your chest. And by doing that, when you have acid sloshing around in different places where it doesn't belong, you now have, areas of ulceration or areas of injury in your GI tract because that acid is going to places where it doesn't belong. Now, once that chunk of food gets into your small intestine, the small intestine is throwing, lots of digestive enzymes its way to try and break it down even further. But because it's such a chunk, it sits there. It doesn't get digested very quickly. And so because it's sitting there, it's starting to ferment. It sits there for a long time, and so little bacteria start to come in to try and help digest that even further. This is where you get a lot of problems from small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, otherwise known as SIBO. So this is one simple trick that can actually start to help resolve and prevent you from having the symptoms that are related to SIBO, reflux, and IBS, like indigestion and bloating. So this one trick is so important in so many ways. I've only addressed a few here, but by just chewing and chew 30 times per bite, okay, this will help make a huge difference in all of those symptoms. Now, if you like that tip, that is just one of many that I have regarding the GI tract, and I love sharing my tips. And in a few days, I have a course that's starting. It's a 5-week course where I will be diving into multiple ways to boost the immune system, to decrease inflammation, and help on different levels of your lifestyle. One of them is the GI tract. So we'll be going into stuff like this, looking at different anti-inflammatory ways of living. And I'll be teaching you not only what to eat, but how to eat, when to eat, and getting like important pieces like intermittent fasting, or knowing exactly when is the best time to eat a certain type of food. And these are really key pieces when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to get healthy, when you're trying to get rid of inflammation, when you're helping leaky gut. There's so many pieces that are involved. And so I'll be diving deep into that in one of the weeks. The other weeks, include sleep. They include movement. We're going to be getting into the mental, emotional, and energetic components of our body and health, and all of these ways and on how to improve your immune system function, but also decrease inflammation and live your most optimal health. So don't forget to join me and sign up soon.